It's the Equipe Elan 60, the 60th anniversary, and I can tell you what, well, one, Ian did a great job on the MGs, I have to say, but luckily we can have a chat to a couple of drivers, and on pole position is a driver I actually know quite well. He used to be my driver coach. He looks like he's in the zone. I'm going to try and interrupt him anyway because he is quite good for the media. There we go. David Pittard, a bit of a different drive for you this week than it was at the Nürburgring 24 a week ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a huge motorsport fan of all levels, so coming back to the historic stuff, none of this flappy paddle stuff, none of this ABS and traction control, a pure driving machine. And yeah, it's awesome to be a part of this mega grid. Well done to Equipe GTS for putting together so many cars on the grid. The photo shoot looked mega earlier on, and hopefully we provide some good racing today as well.
I was going to say, in terms of the racing, what are you expecting? Because these are basically classic cars at this point, but do you still expect people to get their elbows out a little bit?
Well, I think it's going to be close because, I mean, normal historic racing, the variety is normally the awesome thing about it. With the Elan, the Mongoose being the car that's quick around the corners but not so quick in a straight. But this is effectively a cup race, so everyone's on a level playing field down the straights. It's all about who can get it around the corners. So there's going to be a few more ducks and dives, I think, out there. So it's going to be feisty.
It definitely teaches you something about driving, though, doesn't it, in one of these cars, or any classic cars. It's all about minimum speed and driver grip, isn't it, rather than aerodynamics or any of that rubbish.
I mean, you have to drive this car over the limit to maximise its grip, which means you are sliding the car everywhere, which is what you'll see on all these historic cars on the cross-ply tyre. And yeah, you learn so much about it completely, which is transferable to all cars, which is what I love about historic racing. There's a good bunch here. Andy Wolf Engineering has done a mega job with these two cars on the front row, and big thanks to Graham Wilson, the owner of this car, for letting me drive it. This car won the 50th anniversary race, and now we've got to go win the 60th.
I look forward to seeing it, David. Good luck for the race. I can hear the cars starting up. I'm going to try and see and just keep going until I get told off, basically, which is what I'm sort of planning on doing. Number 7, Shepherd and Jackson, one of the leading cars that's got an actual team. Are we okay for a quick chat? Absolutely, fantastic. Right, yeah, well, we're going to spot you towards the front end, aren't we? Very bright, very colourful. You got teammates. What does that kind of dynamic bring to this race?
Well, I've got Cam Jackson driving with me, who's a great friend and a great driver. He's pretty much the quickest guy I know out there. So it's a case of giving him a good car and letting him do what he can do for the second half of the race.
I was going to say, do you feel an extra responsibility as the driver who's starting this and amongst a grid full of talent as well?
Yeah, there's always that aspect, but it adds a lot of excitement, and it brings another level out of you usually. So it's always good fun racing against these guys. I think we've got an exciting race ahead of us.
Fantastic, thank you very much, Shepherd. Good luck for the race. Right, a little bit further back. I mean, this grid goes on forever, to be honest. We don't want to go too far because we've got to get back on our mounting point, and Ian's got to make sure that we're bang on track and everything like that. But we go further back. Tordolf Dorlin is currently in the car with the open face helmet as well. I think that makes it look like a little bit sort of realistic, as if it was the old school style of play rather than the slightly sort of more modern closed face helmets. I can hear them all revving up, but I'm just going to try and take you for a little walk down the grid, mainly because ultimately there's just such beautiful cars to look at. You can see the number 250 there, White and Kane's car, looking in the typical Lotus colours. I mean, you can't get more stunning cars than this. I've seen a lot of people that I know from the motorsport world on my little walk up and down the pits just then while the MGs were going out, and they're all out for the photo shoot. They've all come down to have a look at the Elans. 60th anniversary, obviously, for the Elan. It's the reason why we're here. It's the reason why we're racing. 60-minute race, all ties quite nicely together, isn't it? I don't know if they did a 50-minute race for the 50th anniversary, but it does tie in quite nicely. I can hear that there is going to be a whistle. There's a 1-minute board, which I think is about that time we probably wrap this one up. All these cars are going to be out on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit in about 30 seconds time. We're going to jump back into the comms booth or comms area. Look forward to it.
some great interviews in there. This really is, this is sort of the key race of the weekend for the Equipe Classic Racing, and we saw at lunchtime, didn't we, how special this is, the Elan 26R 60th anniversary race. We've just been having a quick look, haven't we, at the grid order for you. Of course, David Pittard on pole position. There is a pit stop in this race, so for the first 20 minutes or so we're going to base ourselves down here just up by Luffield. Then for the final 40 minutes we're going to make our way up to the pit lane and catch you some of the action there as well. Butcher Tinkler in second place, Miles Griffiths in third, fourth Shepherd Jackson in fourth place, and Robin Ellis in fifth, Tordoff Dorlin in sixth, White Kane seventh, Baxter Mansell in eighth, Tom Swift in ninth, Simon Evans in 10th. They're your top 10. There's going to be plenty of action going on. I'll tell you something, Jack, as well. One thing I'm quite surprised about is I thought they'd be taking this quite leisurely. This is just the formation lap, and they're actually going for this already to really get some heat into those tyres, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's what David Pittard was saying, wasn't it? To drive this car, you have to drive it over its basically capabilities to get the heat into the tyres and to make sure it's going as quickly as it can. You basically go sideways for the majority, which will make a great spectacle for us watching, and a great chance for those in the car. I was actually speaking to David when we were down in the pits as well, apparently the owner of his car. So I said, I'll bring it home nice and easy, don't mess around, make a bit of a show, but make sure that you bring the car in one piece. And after his Nürburgring shenanigans that Pittard got hit off within about the first 4 seconds, he said, no, I'm just going to go and win it. And he said, no, I'm not messing around, I'm just going to go out, I'm going to win.
Sorry, yes, I believe we're back now. I'm not too sure, Jack, you had any comms there. You were just talking about your conversation with David Pittard, the man on pole position.
Yeah, and he was saying that you have to obviously drive the car to over its maximum to get the heat into the tyres, which is maybe why we're seeing it going through the first green lap. There's not many drivers, to be fair, on many British motorsport tracks that I would trust more than him to do that with my car, and obviously it's not his car either. And I was just saying that I was chatting to him in the pits earlier during the lunch break while the photo shoot was going on, and he's been told by the owner of his Elan to just bring it home nice and chilled, don't worry about anything, put on a bit of a show, maybe win if you can, but just bring it home. Anyway, after Pittard's being written off basically in the first 4 seconds of the Nürburgring 24 hours last week in an Aston Martin, he said, no, I'm annoyed, I'm going to go win. So that's why he put it on pole. That's why he may well end up down the road a little bit, because he's come here and he wants to release some energy, and unfortunately for the rest of the field, that may well result in him winning this by quite some distance.
Yeah, indeed. 2:22.611 the pole time. Butcher and Tinkler in second, 2:23.453. An hour race coming up for you. There is going to be a pit stop. As I said, for the first sort of 15 minutes or so, we're going to stick around down just up by Luffield as they head on to the start-finish straight. They're going to make our way into the pits so you can get a close-up action of these. Some of the teams do have two drivers. You can do it by yourself as well. David Pittard, the man on pole position, doing it by himself. The man who starts in third, Miles Griffiths, doing it by himself. Tom Smith, another, doing it by himself. Darren Edwards, I could go on. There's obviously a big list of cars. Of course, the Equipe Elan 60, the 26R 60th anniversary race, 1 hour, supported by Tony Thompson Racing. They do Elan Racing Prep and Performance. Do check those guys out as well. If you do want to find out more about Equipe Classic Racing at any point, you can. There's a link in the body of this broadcast wherever you're watching. Of course, the main places to watch is the Equipe Classic Racing YouTube channel. If you're there right now, and I know there's a good number of you watching, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from today. We do want to hear from you. And also hit that like button, hit that subscribe as well. You can see those cars lining up on the grid. Oh my word, that is a beautiful sight. If you didn't see our exploits at lunchtime, do tune in and back in. We are racing here. We are expected. Are we rolling start? Are we? I think that looks pretty racing to me. Yeah, we are. Go. Yeah, we are going. There we go. We're seeing the same features as you guys. We're actually down at Luffield, where the assembly area is here on the national pits. So it's a great place to be. Not at the wing. We're not actually based at the wing. We're based in the national pits this weekend. Of course, Colin Chapman himself indicated that Elan was never really intended to go to a racetrack, but a load of independent race teams said otherwise, and I think they've been well rewarded, Jack.
Absolutely, it's a great looking car, it's a great handling car. I can't believe that he would design a car that looks as pretty and as sleek and as sporty as the Elan and say that it doesn't deserve to be on a track, because you design a car that looks like this, people are going to put it on track. People will put anything on track, won't they? So it is stunning, and I think that they're aiming obviously for this to be the biggest Elan race in history. I think that was the tagline they were going for. I'm not entirely sure if we've got a fact checker behind whether or not that's actually confirmed.
I think it's true.
You think it is true? Ian's thinking it's true anyway, for sure. So yeah, I think it's a great event. It's a great spectacle. And a bit of an exhibition of how well these cars can go. And in the lead of this race, I do believe it is still Pittard coming through Abbey by the looks of it. But there's a little bit of an argument to be had with the driver who was, I believe, second place. It's in white yellow card, Butcher and Tinkler. Actually, I missed that on the entry list, to be fair, when I was doing my preparation. That Robbie Butcher was actually part of this great event. Obviously, British touring car driver. Driver that we know quite well, actually, the family, having beaten Tom to, I think it was a Diamond Goodyear Award or something like that. It's basically for the newcomers of the BTCC.
Well, for those who don't know you, of course, Jack, your brother is Tom Oliphant, who raced in the BTCC, and you're a racer yourself, aren't you?
Yes, I don't like to bang on about Tom, but in fact, Pittard, actually, speaking, we'll come back to that in a second because he's going around the outside. The Butcher may well be looking at the inside, going through Brooklands and Luffield as there's puffs of smoke everywhere. Going through Luffield now, Pittard still has the position for the time being, and Butcher has to duck out of that one, but nearly 3 wide going through this complex of the circuit, and trust me, there's a lot of smoke, there's a lot of action. 60 minutes of racing, they do have a pit stop, of course. I'm not sure how many people actually want to swap the tyres. At the rate they're screaming through those rear lefts, they may well not have a choice. Coming over the TSL timing screen, I believe Ian can give us a bit of a rundown.
Yeah, okay, thanks for that. I mean, that was nose to tail stuff, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. No taking it easy here this afternoon for this Equipe Elan 60 race. Pittard is your leader, though. Just half a second over the line from Butcher, Tinkler. I'm not too sure actually who is in the car there. Griffiths in third, then Ellis, Baxter, Mansell, then Shepherd, Jackson in 6th place, then the 2 Jacksons in 7th, then Jobstill and Wills in 8th, and Smith in 9th, and White Cane in 10th. They are your top 10 runners and riders so far in the Equipe Elan 60, celebrating the 26R 60th anniversary. These cars really produced between 1964 and 1966. They spanned the S1 and S2 cars with Lotus. The Lotus Elan 26 card, referred to as Comp Elan, an absolute cracker. So very shortly, we are going to make our way to the pits, aren't we? Just another lap or two for these cars to come round down here. We want to see the cars up close and personal in the pits. We'll see if we can grab a couple of words with some of the drivers as well. 60-minute race in total here on Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. It is an absolute corker. It's a wonderful sight. Again, if you didn't tune in during the lunch break, go back and see all 33 of these Elan cars lined up in the Silverstone pit straight. It was something quite special. We spoke to Rob Cole as well. Quite an emotional story for him as well. He's racing his father's Elan this afternoon.
It's always nice, that, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing with these classic cars. They have history. I know that's a bit of a given, but it's the sort of thing that we like to go out and actually get the story behind, isn't it, Ian? And that's why we're going to go into the pits, where maybe we won't be able to see the race in its full capacity, but we'll be able to chat to the drivers who have spanned this history with these Elans as well. And I know there's some drivers out there that are driving for an owner, but we'll still be able to get the sort of conversations and the stories of them. As Pittard still leads the 60th anniversary, he reminded us that that car actually won the 50th one. So it's, again, these cars, they just pop up time and time again, still race worthy, still putting on a hell of a show. And behind the hands of, well, nearly 60 drivers who are all highly skilled, it goes to show what a good race car they still are. It's a bit of a shame they don't still make them, as they go nearly 3 wide into Brooklands. I think they did actually give it another go in the 80s of making these Elans again. Obviously a completely different car basically, but they wanted to bring the name back and bring the essence of it back, and clearly the 60s is a little bit sort of more of that essence, and that's the car that everybody still wants to get behind. And as I said, you can understand it as they go through Brooklands and Luffield and come over the start-finish straight. It looks like Butcher is about 0.7 of a second behind Pittard, and then there is quite a big gap between themselves and Griffith, Baxter, Ellis, Jackson, Shepherd in 7th place. So it's yeah, I mean, everybody's quite close considering this is a 60-minute race here, and everybody seems to be getting their toe in the game, getting the rhythm going, trying their best to sort of flat spot those tyres.
Well, you say that, Jack, as well, because normally pro drivers aren't allowed with Equipe Classic racing, but of course there's a number of them in this field as well, so we are expecting things to be quite tight, and David Pittard's certainly not going to have it all his own way in this race, so it's certainly worth keeping an eye on it at the sharp end all through the field. Unpopular opinion here, actually, Jack, I really liked the Elan that was made. Was it like 1988 or something through to like the early 90s? I remember having a game on the Amiga where you raced one of those Elans, and I really liked it. So maybe that's a bit of an unpopular opinion. We should be talking about
showing your age there, Ian. I was too young for all that nonsense.
Yeah,
I thought it was a motorsport on the Xbox, mate.
Oh, listen to him. Don't even make you sick. Don't even make you sick. We should be talking about that. Of course, we are for the Elan 26Rs. They're fine machines from 1964 to 1966. This is the 60th anniversary for the cars.
Yeah, I was actually in the pits earlier, as I mentioned, chatting to a fair few people.
So Simon, my producer, just told me the name of the game. So I think the Lotus Speed Challenge, I think, or something like that. It wasn't. I had it. Yeah,
you had it. Don't remember very well, clearly, because you don't remember the name. But fond memories, I'm sure, as the front two just go through the field division. Griffiths as well. I mean, Griffiths in third place. He's putting up a hell of a show, to be fair. And I think one of the drivers is maybe solo, as that's a very, very wide moment from the number 7. That's Shepherd, isn't it? It's currently 7th place. Just missing the apex by a country mile. At some point, he'll hit the right postcode. But not ideal for him at all. But just to go back to what I was saying, the emotion of the pits. There was a couple of people. There's an older gentleman came out in the pits with a walking stick. Clearly wasn't the most mobile, and he would go out, and all of a sudden he was hit by the photo shoot that we had, all the Elans that were lined up, and genuinely he welled up, and he was like, "Oh, this is just brilliant. Isn't this just amazing?" He couldn't stop complimenting it, and it was like it brought him back to his youth or something. He was like, "Oh, have you made sure you're getting photos and everything like that?" And obviously the whole thing was a photo shoot, so hopefully there'll be loads of access to them as well publicly of all those photos. You can, I'm sure, find it on any of the Equipe social medias and stuff like that. They'll put links out, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just nice to see that sort of harping back to the youth of the generation that maybe grew up with these cars.
Or just go back and watch the stream at lunchtime because I'll tell you what, cracking interviews there as well. So Pittard is still your race leader. Started on pole, David Pittard, the number 13 machine. Unlucky for some, not for him so far. 2:22.611 was the pole time. Jack, I'm really sorry, I've lost TSL on your phone now. I can only apologise about that. But do keep getting in touch with us across social media as well. We're live on the Equipe Classic Racing YouTube channel. We're also live at Live Sport Now as well. Do hit subscribe if you're watching it, and get in touch with us, comment as well. GW13's been in touch. And a driver in the 50th anniversary race. Winning car number 13 was Andy Wolf, the owner of Historic Racing, who prepares the car. Thank you so much. Little nuggets like that, really, really fantastic stuff. So Pittard leads, but the gap is next to nothing. 0.4 of a second over the line last time. We can see them, and they're going past the wing now, as we can see. We've got 15 minutes or so of this race. Another few minutes, and then we're going to move our way into the pit lane, because we want to see these cars coming into the pits up close and personal. So we grab a word with some of the drivers, and here they come now, the two leaders just into our shot, the number 13 and the number 140. And I'll tell you what, you could just about fit a bit of A4 piece of paper between them. That's how tight it is.
I think the grins are probably spanning the width of the car, to be honest. I reckon they're having a whale of a time. Obviously, two drivers that are used to higher echelon machinery, shall we say, or more precise machinery. This is effectively what you get into motorsport for if you're a racing driver. You want to put things sideways, you want to go as fast as you can, not worry about whether you're overheating the tyres, or in that case the number 600, whether you've torn off, whether you've well, he hasn't torn the door off, has he? But he has somewhat broken his rear bumper, which is a bit of a shame. But to be fair, apart from that, actually, there's a healthy respect of bumper-to-bumper racing here, isn't there, Ian?
the racing's exceptional, isn't it? I mean, I would be terrified taking one of these round. I would dent it or do anything silly. Let's give you a mention as well to Rob Cole, the number 65. We spoke to him in the lunch break as well when they were lining up the cars. It's an emotional day for him. He started in 33rd. He's absolutely shot up the field. He really, really has, and he's absolutely flying. So keep your eye out for Rob Cole for the rest of this race. He's a sole driver as well. There are a number of teams do have 2 drivers in this. Everybody has to do a pit stop. There is a mandatory pit stop in this race. So very shortly, in a couple of minutes, maybe at the end of the next lap, we're going to just make our way to the pit lane. We'll still keep talking. I think we can probably switch to the mobile microphone, can't we? We'll still keep talking as we walk, but we won't be able to see any of the track action whilst we make our way over. But don't you worry about that. And what have you made of the action so far, everybody? Let us know. Some of you getting in touch with us across social media. We want to hear from you. What do you make of these cars? Do you have any memories of the Lotus Elan as well? Do tell us. Do let us know. And if your friends or family members or anybody at all you know is driving one of these cars today, let us know and we'll give them a shout out. We really do want to hear from you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe as well. Fastest lap, of course, is Pittard, 2:24.193. Absolutely flying at the minute, although Butcher Tinkler's so close behind him. I hope that goes the whole way, Jack. I think they're about to come into our screen now. Yes, they are, and it does look like they're even closer this time around as well, aren't they? Even closer. Look at that. Wow, that's the battle for the outright lead as well. Magnificent racing. And I'll tell you something, Miles Griffiths as well, who's in 3rd place, started in 3rd, might just be thinking here, go on chaps, have a little bit of a battle. I'm going to save my car, I'm going to save my tyres for a little bit and maybe have a bit of an assault later on the race.
I think I'm interested to see whether Butcher's teammate Tinkler has got the same amount of pace that Butcher does. I mean, he'd have to be going some way to actually match it, but that could be Pittard's saving grace at this point, because it does look like he's trying to force moves inside, outside, putting him in different parts of the circuit. Oh, the 60. How many times do you want to catch it? That's the number. Who is that? 60. That's, oh, may well have been Darren Edwards. Yeah, Darren Edwards is the number 60. And sort of, yeah, you're probably right actually. So yeah, Edwards almost wiping himself and sort of out as well. It's again, they're not really holding back with these cars, are they? As soon as the visor goes up, we said this in the GTS category, didn't we? As soon as the visor goes down, it doesn't matter what car you're driving, you just want to win, and that is the sign of a purebred racing driver right there.
Yeah, it certainly is. I'll tell you what, I'm desperate to get to the pits, but I also don't want to miss anything either. I think what we might do is, how long have we got left? We've got 47 minutes, so we're going to do a run. We're going to make our way into the pits, so we might just have a general chit-chat as we make our way over, because we're not going to be able to see any of the track action. We'll keep an eye on the stream for you. We're going to swap mics, so we might go a little bit quiet for a moment, just whilst we swap over mics, but don't go anywhere, and we're going to be back in the pits very, very shortly. Stay with us. And I'll tell you, some of your 2 leaders, my word, David Pittard, Butcher Tinkler Cardi, the number 13 at Pittard and the 140. Oh my word, they are going nose to tail, aren't they, Jack? This is absolutely thrilling racing. It really, really is. What do you make of it so far, everybody? Please do let us know. I really, really do want to hear from you.
I thought you were asking me what I made of it then. I think you know what I'm...
You're too excited, Jack.
I was going to say, I think you know exactly what I make of it. Ian is absolutely brilliant. And even the other drivers, we mentioned Griffiths already, but a few drivers towards sort of the back end of the top 10 are putting on a show as well. I mean, you're thinking that they might be a bit slower, they might not have the capability in this car actually, but if you took away the top 5 and you just said that 6th place was leading this race, I'd be like, yeah, they're driving it really well, they're being miraculous. It's just the caliber of the top couple of echelons, but Butcher is within Yeah, a couple of centimetres. Oh, yeah, you just you caught that in. Was the number 36 going a little bit wide?
Yeah, it was. It was number 36, who I'll tell you very shortly as soon as I can find it. Thank you very much for that.
Montgomery.
Race down here, almost sideways. I'll tell you something. I thought maybe they might take it a little bit easier, but they're not, are they? And my only concern is the tyres, because it is a 60-minute race, of course. And Silverstone, as we know, it's so vast. There's a lot of long sweeping corners. I just wonder. Mind you, these tyres built to last, I guess. Right?
I was going to say, you might be concerned for the tyres. I don't think the drivers are that concerned for the tyres one bit, because they're using every single inch. And I like to think that because they're on a certain regulation of tyre, that they're one, long lasting, two, they're obviously very slippery. I imagine that they're the sort of race series that if it's wet or if it's dry, they're on the same tyres sort of thing. You don't want to, you spent all that money on the actual car, you don't want to waste money on things like tyres and all that sort of thing. You want one set of tyres that's going to last you the entire weekend and the entire series.
Yeah, this is Formula One, isn't it? Tyres are boring. You know, we want to see the racing action. I'm delighted to say we are certainly seeing that here at Silverstone with the Equipe Elan 26R, our 60th anniversary race. Still a long way to go in this one, 43 minutes. We are very shortly about to make our way to the pit lane. Pit window will be open very shortly and we'll see a bit of action. We've just seen the two leaders actually come down now. Again, still Pittard leading the way, but it is tight, isn't it? It is really, really close. At the end of this race,
camera, unhooking the camera and turning it to a roaming camera from a static camera. John, the cameraman, is doing an absolutely sterling job, but I think he's just about that time when he's ready to go. So we're going to start wandering. We're going to start going over here, and I'll keep an eye on the action on my iPad so we can see who's where, what's what, and where we're going. Because we're only going to be 30 seconds before we get back to the pits, and I'm hoping there's going to be a number of drivers who are waiting to get in the car who are happy to have a chat to us so they can give us a bit of a rundown and maybe some of the stories we've missed over the course of this race for their personal car and their personal race as well, I say, and the teammates that they have. But you can understand it if we're focusing on the front too, because ultimately this is still a race. We still are here to pick up trophies. We're not just here to show off the wonderful Elans, we are also here for the silverware as well. So you can understand why we're focusing a little bit on the brilliant battle between the front two. But up and down the grid there are stories, and we're going to go and try and capture some of them, aren't we, Ian?
Yeah, we are. I just want to say a big thank you to John, our cameraman, as well, because I think he's probably going to be furious with us for making him keep walking like this. It'll get easier the rest of the afternoon, I promise. I really do. But we are making. Just had a couple of people walk past with 2 cups of coffees. I think we certainly owe John a bucket load of coffee. I think maybe something stronger. So something stronger a little bit later. But we've got a job to do first, of course. So we're just going to make our way down to the pits. Because Pittard, that battle, Pittard, and it is absolutely remarkable. And the Butcher Tinkler fight, the outright leader as well. Brilliant stuff indeed. We've got obviously pro drivers. Pittard a pro driver. In fact, the top 6 are all pro teams. So as you would expect, actually, you must give Jobstill in 7th place is your first amateur team. So fair play to them, doing well. 41 minutes of this race to go. We're just making our way into the pit lane now. Don't forget to get in touch with us. We can see your comments across social media. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, we're live on Twitter, even LinkedIn as well. Ian Woodhouse, that's me. If you want to connect, feel free, head on over. But we are now just entering the national pit lane here at Silverstone. Let's have a little look around. I'm just going to hand back to Jack very quickly.
So as we start to just look down the pit lane here at Silverstone, the national circuit, of course, I can see yellow flags going into cops. Can't quite see the cause of it yet, but I can confirm there are yellow flags going into cops. I don't think there's a safety car. Yeah, the safety car boards have stayed in. Double waved yellows going into cops. Oh, there's a car, in fact, coming about to run me over. Number 11, that is, just coming in. A car that was right in the sharp end, actually. That's Jackson. Running in 5th place, has just driven past me in the pits. I'm waiting to see. Yeah, they're getting waved in. Unfortunately for John, our cameraman, we do have to walk all the way to the other end for the Elans because they're a long way away. Hello again, if you can see me there on circuit, on camera even. And I have to say, I know we're here to focus on the Elans, and we're obviously going to do that. But the spectacle of cars that are on my right-hand side going through these garages are something to behold. Aha, a few more cars coming in though. Number 250, the number 99, and the number 600, which was very close to, very close to running me over there. Ripping off the back end of that car. Are we going to see a driver change? Yes, we are. So as they try and manage the driver, it's almost like crowbarring the driver out of here at the moment. Trying to get the seat all fitted for the next one. Get them strapped up, quick clean of the windshield as well before we get back going. Start the engine back up, which obviously needs to be turned off before they do any work. Closing the doors, strapping up, it's going to lose crucial time. But I think they have to hold it for a certain amount of time anyway, given the fact that some people are obviously without drivers. The squeal it goes. I believe we might actually be able to have a word. It's toured off, I believe. John, nice to meet you and everything. It's, I mean, you just come in. I'm sticking the camera straight in your face, I do apologise, but I want to get the stories. What was that race for you like? Because at the moment, you're operating pretty high up there.
Yeah, I got someone running to the back of me on the going through Maggots and Beckett's on the opening lap, and pushed me wide a bit, and a few people got by, but then I got into my groove, and then it was all right, and then I got a mechanical warning flag because the bumper was hanging off.
I was going to say, it's been hanging off for about 3 or 4 laps to be honest. I think they let you off that one because we've been commenting on it. What's the story of the car? I mean, how have you come down to race the Elan and everything else? It's a great car for a great circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic cars, and they punch well above their weight in terms of, you know, bigger, more powerful cars, etc. And they're just, you know, pound for pound, they're probably about as good as it gets, really.
British Motorsport's based on this sort of sports car, isn't it? I mean, you got the modern types of the MX-5 and the Genesis and everything like that, but this is really what steals the hearts of people out there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's a good old British brand with Lotus and what have you, and it's just great to see so many of them out today. So.
Fantastic. Good luck with the rest of the race, and hope you get a bit of a shower later on. Right, let's move down and have a chat. Well, you might be able to see some more pictures out there, actually. We might not be actually on your screen anymore. But if we are on your screen, then cast your eyes to the right-hand side here, because, oh, wow. There are some pretty cars out here today. Some cars that you'll probably be able to see in the Libra category, which is the last race of the day if you want to catch any of these that are out there. Bittard still leads, Butcher only 0.2 seconds behind. We're going to keep going. Even though there are some stunners. Most of the teams are right at the bottom end of this pit lane, which is a bit of a shame. But as we go down, we'll be able to keep an eye. This is the garage you really want to poke your head in. Back when Ferraris and Porsches are cars that you actually wanted to drive and wanted to own and had on your posters. I know I said I was born in the 95, but even so, they are. Whew. You don't get much better, do you? The Equipe, as I said, have done a great job of putting on a hell of a spectacle. And you can see the sort of the range of cars in there and the calibre of cars that we're operating with, that you can come down and watch, because of course we're not live streaming tomorrow, but you have to come down and actually physically see these cars for them to be properly appreciated. A few more cars have driven past me in the pits, but not many. A lot of them are going to go for the 30-minute mark bang on, and then they're going to try and change. That's the tactic they're going for. I've chatted to a few people off camera. In fact, might be able to just squeeze an interview down here, actually, of driver waiting. Sorry, sir. I wonder if we could have a quick chat while you're waiting. You seem to be pacing up and down. Who are you waiting for?
Second driver for Graham Ridgway.
Fantastic. And how's your race going so far?
Yeah, he looks to be going okay, to be honest. Lost a couple of posts on the start, but he seems to be making it back up now, so just waiting for the half-hour mark, and we can share it 50-50.
I was going to say, is that the aim? Is as close to 30 minutes as humanly possible? Nervous about jumping in, or are you confident? Are you excited? It's a big race, obviously the 60th anniversary. Is it something that you turned up, you sort of had that nerves for?
Well, I'm more nervous because I prepare the car. So, so long as he gets his race and then the car finishes, I'll be happy.
You're happy. You're happy. To be honest, I think that's what 95% of the people would say as well if they had the balls to. Brilliant. Good luck for the race, and I'll let you get back to your pacing. Ian Waterhouse is back with me, and well, we're making some kind of moves down the pit lane, Ian. We're just admiring some of the machinery that's out here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get down here because I think there's a few more Elans stopping down here as well, which is good stuff. I'm not going to lie, Jack, just had to go change my earbud as well so I could hear producer Simon. How's it all looking out there?
Yeah, to be fair, actually, it's been a struggle to keep an eye on the race because of the amount of people and the amount of machinery we've been chatting to, but there's lots of people who are about to get very busy down here in the pit lane. You can start to see potentially, the cameras are on us, this sort of the breadth of field, and in fact if you turn us around, there we go, we can start to see a couple more drivers coming in here, Ian, can't we, who we spotted. In fact, actually that's the driver we were just chatting to, I think. Oh no, it's not, it stopped a bit earlier there actually. You can't quite see the number unfortunately, so there's a couple more drivers down here though that I'm sure would love to have a chat to you, Ian.
I'm sure there is, yeah, I'm more than happy to. Let's go down and find out. Look, we've got somebody over here. Let's go have a quick chat, shall we? Jump in and find out who we've got here. Look, this man looks very excited and very ready to have a chat with me. How are you feeling ahead of this?
Yeah, great, thank you.
What's it like being part of this incredible grid?
Oh, it's incredible, yeah. I mean, Rob Cole, John, they've done a brilliant job with the whole series, but to do this race in particular, I was sat with Rob having a meeting about 7 months ago, and he told me about his car that he was doing for his dad. And my eyes glazed over and he said, "You're going to build one, aren't you?" I went, "Yeah."
It's a wonderful story, isn't it, from Rob? You about to go out?
Yeah, so I'm out in car 66. My name's Darren Edwards, and Scott's in the car at the moment, so yeah, looking forward to it. So.
Might catch your pit change up close and personal. Best of luck out there. We're just turning around here, the 117 car just coming into bits, another one coming in as well. Let's get a close-up of these cars, shall we, as they come in. Look at this, an absolute fine-looking machine. Here's the number 49 coming through, Stephen Reese there. Let's make our way down a little bit further, shall we, and get into the nuts and bolts of all of this, shall we? And it's such a packed grid, it's so nice to see, isn't it? So many cars out there. Let me just pop TSL. You can see actually we're about to have the whole team here. There's about to be a driver change, so let's just move over here because we've got one coming in. It's coming right in front of us as well, so I'll get John to turn around and let's point on the car, shall we? Here it comes. This here, Jobstall and Will's car. They were going very well. In fact, they were leading class as well at one point, so I wonder if we can jump in and grab a quick word with them very shortly. In fact, it is Andy Wills in the car, so let's just find out from Andy very quickly. We'll get a good look at this pit change. Look at this car, absolutely unbelievable. The Lotus Elan, a thing of utter beauty. I think you can probably see the dashboard there, full wooden in there too. We're just going to let him do the pit change first before we jump in, because I know Andy Wills has got to keep an eye on the clock here. You do not want to get a needless penalty, do you? Here we go. Car about to head out track. Listen to this. Turn up the volume wherever you're watching, because it is absolutely magnificent. Listen to this. Here it goes. Vroom, vroom. Oh, Andy, oh my word, this is just different level, isn't it?
It's a bit hectic out there, yeah. It's a lot of fun. The cars are very difficult to drive on the limit, but
you're doing it though. We're seeing you coming around Luffield. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, there's some fun to be had, that's for sure. No, it's good.
What's it like being part of this festival?
Yeah, mega. I mean, to have so many Elans together, all racing for one another, some very, very high level of driving, and some really good amateurs as well, which is nice to see. So it's really good fun.
Better let you go get some water. Well done, congratulations. Right, have we got any more cars coming in? I think we're about to have one right down here. In fact, there is one in there as well. The number 55 has just come in as well. I'm assuming we haven't had the leader in yet, have we, Jack?
No, we haven't had the leader in. No, Pittard and Butcher still out there, about 0.1 seconds apart apparently as they crossed the line last time. But I do believe that we have Tinkler sort of waiting in the wings, ready to change with Butcher. I don't know what the protocol will be in their team, or whether they want to actually. In fact, this is no, it's not, is it? It's a little bit further down. Yeah, let's go down and have a wander. See if there's going to be a driver change. So this is going to be interesting. If there's no driver change, I'm guessing they have to, well, they will have to hold them in the pits for a certain amount of time. But it does look like there's going to be a driver change.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the Bond Hall car, the number 85, as you can see. Sorry, Bond Fell car. So we'll let's have a quick look at this. I wonder if we really get the camera in to have a look at these cars. Look at it, absolutely beautiful. I hope they rev it up again like they did last time. How nice was it, Jack, seeing the car pull away from the pits there, the revving, the sound. It's just oozes history, doesn't it? It oozes drama, it oozes absolutely everything. They're just getting a driver strapped in, of course, getting ready to get themselves back out on a track. Driver change going ahead right now. The engine just been fired up. Oh my word. Thumbs up, it looks like. Just got to hold on and wait. Now let's have a little listen. Let's listen. Oh, don't disappear just yet, because I'll tell you something. What a special day this is, isn't it?
It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I love it with all these Elans, just so special.
The racing out there, I'm surprised at how hot it is.
Yes, it's quite warm, especially when you have to play catch-up. I got nerfed on the first corner and ended up going down through the grass, so I tried to play catch-up, but, you know, not like 5 or 6 years on this circuit. So.
What does it feel like for you just being part of this paddock?
Magic, absolutely magic. I've been racing this red car for 15 years, and this is one of the most special days in Berlin. Fantastic.
Thank you so much. I'll let you go get some water. Thank you very much. Right, we're waiting for more cars. There's another car down here. Let's make a move, shall we? This is the number 66 car. Actually, we just spoke to the driver, didn't we? We had a chat with Darren Edwards. This is his car here, the number 66. Let's watch him pull away. I hope Jack's been keeping up to speed with what's going out on track. I'm sure you all have, watching at home, but I've been so busy in the pits recently that I just haven't been watching, so it doesn't like it's Darren Edwards now behind the wheel of the 66, the 26R Lotus Elan. Here we go, it's about to head on out. Look at that, wow. And, you know, I'll tell you something, this is great because another one's coming in as well. So let's move down. We're going to capture this one too. I just want to get a look at these cars. There's something special. They really, really are. 60th anniversary race, 60-minute race, of course, pit stop. In comes a 472, actually. And this is Miles Griffiths running in third place on track. So this is going to be, it's a single runner and rider. Third place in the pits right now. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Jack. I hope you're keeping up to speed with what's going out. We get so excited in the pits. But Miles Griffiths is kind of running on his own in third place for a little bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, but the drive was still impressive. It does look like he's going to not have a driver change, which is why they're holding up a phone right in front of the windshield. Probably want to see where they are, and also that's the timer to tick down. How long have they got to go before they can put their foot down and get going again? Very crucial, because obviously tenths of a second mean a lot in motorsport. And he's just waiting. He doesn't have to get the engine off because he don't have to change drivers, so there's no fear of the engine not starting, which sounds stupid, but trust me, in race cars, they're more temperamental than you would like, especially classic race cars. Keep them revving up, keep them nice and hot, and away he goes there. Nicely done there. Butcher's back in the game.
Yeah, just behind us as well, we've got another one coming in as well. The 150 has just come into the pits as well. This is the Buffer and Willis car, so a quick driver change. We'll grab a quick chat very shortly. But let's get the pit stop done first. Let's just watch it in its full glory here. Pit stop for the Elan 60th anniversary race. It's Andy Willis just getting into the car now. So Willis is going to take over from Philippe Bouffon. The man from Switzerland has just gotten out the car. I don't know where he's just run off to, actually. Oh, I think Jack's going to grab him.
Yeah, we're going to go try and grab Buhoffer, who's just come in from the pits, and see he has run away quite quickly. But the driver that's just come out of the car, he was sat in sixth fence. Do you mind if we have a quick chat for the YouTube? Sorry?
Sorry, what are you?
Do you want a quick chat for the live stream after you just come out of the car? Is that all right?
Yes.
Yes, fantastic. How was the race out there? You're running very well, right? It's stubbornly inside the top 10.
Really? I didn't notice. It's first race actually. I had a rollout about 1.5 months ago, and
wow.
Yeah, some training yesterday, and I feel really very comfortable with that car. It's lots of fun to drive, and yeah, it's also a great course here.
Absolutely. What's the story and how you came across and ended up driving the car in the end? Then is it yours? Is it a friend's or someone else's?
It's my car, but I started about 20 years ago with Formula Juniors and then Formula One, HCPCA, and now I found the closed wheels an interesting chapter to open, and that's where I'm in now.
I'm loving it, absolutely loving it out there.
It's great.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having a chat to us. Right, we can have a look because there's some more drivers who are getting ready to go. But I think there's a driver right to my right-hand side here who's sort of waiting in the wings, waiting to go before we end up moving on. Just to give you a bit of an update, I know you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, but it looks like Pittard has pulled out about half a second ahead of Butcher. No sign yet that either of them are coming onto the pit lane, which is slightly surprising because it's 24 minutes and 40 seconds, and maybe they're keeping Butcher in for as long as they can to keep up with Pittard. But Pittard will also have to pit at some point. Now there is still yellow flags down at Copse in the first corner, and looks like they're recovering something as they went into the first corner. I can see a recovery vehicle just on the left-hand side on the entry of the corner. Can't quite see what happened. Ian, can you?
Simon's just told producer there's been a crash on one of the straights, so we'll obviously keep you up to speed with that. We're going to show it on a replay actually, so we might be able to see. We should be able to see it very shortly.
Oh, yeah, that's nasty. Yeah, so it looked like one of the drivers obviously ended up turning across. Probably thought they had more space than they did. That is not a nice area to go off on the circuit, because you're going very, very quickly out of there. You've been flat out for a good 15-20 seconds, and a nasty crash, nasty way to go that, unfortunately.
That's good news though, we've got plenty of cars in the pit, so let's go down and have a quick look at them. In fact, it's getting very busy. In fact, our race leader's in behind us, just behind us. Let's go have a look. Number 13, David Pittard in the pits. Let's move down, shall we, and see how he's getting on. We've got the 24 car here. It's this one here, the number 13 in the pits, getting ready. It's been going very well for David Pittard, hasn't he? Led from pole position on race 2. Because he's a single driver, so there'll be no driver change, so we won't be able to grab a word of him until after the race. But we are going to stick around in the pits as soon as this race finishes as well, so hopefully we can grab a word with some of the other drivers too, and find out how their day has gone and just what it means to be a part of this quite remarkable day and grid. It's a very historic day, the largest Lotus Elan 26R grid ever, we believe, ever here at Silverstone. Listen to that, Pittard absolutely burns out of the pits. That's what we like to see. We've got a 26 car in as well, just to the left of the camera. Let's keep looking at these cars. Guys, do you know, I don't even know how long's left in the race. But to be honest, I don't really care, because I'm just having such a good time down here. It really is. We've got Julian Thomas. I'm going to have a quick word with him very shortly. I'll just let him get his helmet off, because I always choose the worst possible time to try and grab a word with people. I always do. Here he is. Julian, how was it out there?
Incredible. Wow, that was fun.
What's it like being part of this? Did you get goosebumps when we lined up all the Elans?
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Just chills all over. Incredible. What an event.
It is. It's a bit of a historic event, isn't it? I mean, what is it like to drive?
It's just unbelievable, those cars. They're just like the best handling cars you've ever driven. They just slide and they do exactly what you want. If you take it too far, it bites.
Well, look, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day, won't you? Really appreciate you talking to us. There's another car down here. It's been in the pits for a while. Not too sure why that is. There's another. Oh, it's such a wonderful place to be in this pit lane. Again, I have absolutely no idea how long we've even got on this race, but we will pop the camera on the start-finish straight once we start to think. 21 minutes. Thank you very much, Simon. I appreciate that. 21 minutes left on the race, so still plenty of time, still plenty of action to come. And over the next sort of 5-10 minutes or so, when the pit stops get completed, we will get a bit of an understanding of exactly where everybody is in this race. Of course, we've got double waved yellows at the minute into turn 1, which saw on the replay, didn't we, what happened? The number 75 car just heading out of the pits. That's Simon Evans. He's just making his way out now, and I wonder if we can just have a quick chat and find out what is going on here. I've got Simon Jackson behind the wheel of the car. Simon, sorry guys, I don't mean to interrupt. What's the problem?
We've got a misfire which we thought we'd found and sorted out, but unfortunately it's still there. So we're changing the coil, see if that will help.
So these things happen. It is motorsport, isn't it? But what a day it is. There you go. I'll let you guys crack on. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. There you go. We're just going to fire this car up and see if it starts now. Hopefully they've got this sorted. That was the voice of Simon Jackson there. And it looks, oh, listen to that. Listen. Oh. The bonnet's going back on. Let's have it back. Well, there we go. Simon Jackson there, going back out in the number 11 machine. They started in 12. Of course, they've been in the pits for quite some time, so it looks like that might put that out. I think we might get ourselves, if we put the camera back onto the pit wall, because I think that might be it now. I'll just hand this over to Jack.
Yeah, so it was interesting actually. It's amazing who you don't recognise when you've got a when they've got a helmet on. I was just speaking to Philip Buchhofer just before, and I was like, I swear I recognise the name, couldn't recognise the face. He said he obviously raced quite high up, and all of a sudden it hit me mid-interview. He raced in the historic Monaco, and I believe a Lotus there as well. So yeah, a bit silly of me. If you want more information on him, it's yeah, Philip Buchhofer. A bit embarrassing on myself as a commentator, but well, he had a helmet on. It's hard to always see. I couldn't really even hear him, to be honest. Not many people coming into the pit lane just yet. I can tell you that Robbie Butcher is obviously leading this race. To be honest, I expected him to be in the pits by now. I'm slightly surprised. I know he's sort of maybe waiting for Tinkler to jump in as well, but it just doesn't seem to have done so just yet. Although now it says he's on an outlap, so I don't know if we missed it. We have been searching up and down this pit lane. Maybe I was just doing my research a little bit too thoroughly, and Ian had already caught him. But we can see that Butcher is still leading. It's going to be interesting when the TSL rocks around and they come back out, whether or not Pittard has retaken the race lead, or whether he's having to fall behind and do the hard work.
I missed it, Jack, so I was out and about and then getting a bit excited in the pits. Has Butcher actually pitted yet?
Well, that's what we were just discussing. It says he's on an outlap apparently here, but I haven't seen him come in. I don't know if you have. I thought maybe you had seen him while I was doing some things on my phone.
Well, we won't have to. It won't take long for us to find out, I'm delighted to say. So here we are. We've put the camera actually on the start-finish straight as well, the one that we've been using for roaming. There is a car coming into the pits now. There is. I now wonder if this is it. We are looking for 140. I'm trying to remember what colour it was. I think it could well be. So bright yellow. It's definitely not that then. So 140. Butcher's about to come down the start-finish straight in about 20 seconds or so, so we'll find out very shortly who is going to be leading. This is going to be exciting. This is going to be close. Remember how close it was for the opening stint until Pittard came into this. So Pittard is your leader. Pittard has retaken the lead. So David Pittard, a man who started on pole position, leads the race, and he leads by 8.8 seconds. So far, fastest lap of the race is by Pittard, a 2:24.1 at 9.3. So Pittard leads from the Butcher Tinkler car. Griffiths stays in third place. Then we've got Ellis in fourth. So Robin Ellis started in fifth up to fourth place. I'm still on Robert Colewatch, who has been absolutely flying throughout the course of this race. Down in 27th. Wonder if he might pick up a few places. Started in 33rd. Had a very bright start. Another car coming down the pit lane as well. In fact, I think this is Jackson. We've just literally spoken to them. We've just had a chat with Simon Jackson. So let me go down and see if I can figure out. It looks like the issue that they were having is still there. What a shame that is. So I'm just making my way over now. It looks like the issue hasn't been resolved, unfortunately. Not been resolved.
Unfortunately, it's still there. Something, the cable had snapped off the starter motor and it was earthing on the sump, but it might have short-circuited something else. Shame.
Well, who knows? We've got 16 minutes. You might be able to get just a few tester laps out there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, try and fix the problem.
Talk to you guys, I really appreciate it. Hopefully they can get out. It's the number 11, the Jackson car there. It looks like it is going to be, they might just get out for a couple of laps, Jack, but it might just be tester laps. So unfortunately, number 11 car looks like the race is all but run.
It's a great shame that, isn't it? And that is the sort of risk you run when you race any kind of car, to be fair, let alone an old one. I'm actually amazed at how many cars, well, not amazed I suppose, they built them well, you know, back in the 60s, but I am slightly surprised at the amount of cars that we've still got going. And the lack of contact as well that we've had is always very nice. I was speaking to Roy Alderslade, an old Ginetta friend of mine, which is probably a Probably shouldn't mention them, to be honest, but not Roy, but the other car manufacturer I just mentioned. Yeah, he was saying that it's amazing when you come to race in a series like this, the respect that each driver has. You know, you're all racing in high-end, expensive, precious machinery. It's amazing the berth that each driver gives you, and then you sort of see the top drivers, the pros, like we saw early on with Pittard and Butcher, going very close at it, and you know, you can fit an A4 piece of paper between them. But the rest of the time, if someone sees you at the inside, the likelihood is they're going to miss the apex and just sort of not really fight it too hard. Still give it a bit back, try and carry momentum, but there's, you know, more ways of winning a race than to trying to squeeze someone and causing contact. Unfortunately, I think for Butcher and the Tinkler pairing, I feel like they're maybe a little bit slower than Pittard. Obviously, Pittard, who doesn't have a teammate or anything, so he can just go as fast as he wants for as long as he can, which is quite a long time, I imagine, given the fact that he's a 24-hour endurance driver these days. But Butcher seems to have switched over to Tinkler, and it doesn't seem to quite have the same pace. I'm actually looking up and down the pit lane now to see if we can find Rory and actually have a chat with him, because he'd be a sort of a great perspective on what is this fantastic event.
Well, if you do find him, go have a look, Jay. If you do find a wave like mad, I'm going to go back and hang around with John, our cameraman, and see what we can see. But a lot of you get in touch with us on social media as well. Paolo is watching from Italy. Thank you so much, Jensen Davis, saying such a good fight for the lead. It has been, hasn't it? Although it doesn't look like Dave Pittard is just starting to extend that lead a little bit. It's gone out to just over 12.5 seconds now. Can he take it home? We're certainly going to find out, aren't we? Of course, GW13's been back in touch. Ben Tinkler, of course, is actually a historic Formula 4 champion as well, so plenty of talent out in the field. In fact, it's a wonderful field. It's an incredible day. I really do implore you to go back during lunchtime. We had all 33 Lotus Elan 26R cars lined up in the pit lane, and it was very emotional. We caught up with Robert Cole, had a very interesting and wonderful chat with him, emotional talk as well. Some incredible stories coming out from this car, produced of course from 1964 to 1966, the Lotus Elan 26R. It is the 60th anniversary race. We have 13 minutes or so left of it to go. Do keep getting in touch with us. So we've got Rajan, who's watching from India as well. We can't see the comments. We do want to hear from you. Hit like. We're live on the Equipe Classic Racing YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're watching there as well. Helps us bring you even more live motorsport action. Well, what have you made of it so far as well? It's great to hear from the drivers too, isn't it, up and down the pit lane, but we just want to see the cars as well, don't we? They make such a roar. I thought the racing might sometimes not be quite as intense as it was, but it certainly has been. There's been nothing left on the plate at all. It's all guns blazing out there, and I'm going to be a little bit sad when this race is over. Still more action to bring you, of course, though. The final race of the day is the Equipe Libras as well, the heavyweight cars. Make sure you tune in for that one. Every race is live, wall-to-wall racing now for the rest of the day. We're going to be on air for another sort of 2.5 hours or so you can watch plenty of action. Jack's coming back to me, can't find Rory Butcher. Maybe we might find him after the race, you never know. There is another car just coming into the pits as well. I'll see who that is. No Joy, Jack, I take it? No problem at all. Well, we might catch him after the race, you never know.
Yeah, it's as if they've done their pit stop in the F1 pits or something, isn't it? There's all the 88 coming in, making his presence known with those squeaky brakes. That's not your speakers at home, people. That is genuinely just the brakes of Cliff Gray, the number 88, who's currently in front of us. Not sure where Cliff Gray is actually operating in. I think he was inside the top 20. But he's got a problem here. He's not very happy. I think it's I can't quite make out what he's looking at, to be honest. I think he's just trying to keep the car warm. His mechanic has ran off. To have a word, we've actually got another one coming down the pit lane as well. See what the mechanic's bought out. It looks like a measuring stick or something, doesn't it? It genuinely is. It genuinely is a measuring stick. Oh, I think he's got oil pressure potential problems. Yeah, no, it's dipstick. It is. I mean, that's the old school way of measuring your oil as well, I'd say. Doesn't think, I don't know if they think he's got any oil or not. They don't seem to be giving him any. He's sending him on his way. Maybe just a pressure gauge problem.
Yeah, seems to be quite happy. Came in. All okay, it seems.
Got a misfire. We thought it might be low fuel, but the fuel's good, so he's just gone up to the end of it.
Fantastic. Good, that's what I'd say. Always worth checking, is it? We've got the number 17 car back in.
Yeah, I think it's O'Reilly actually, or just at the end here. Now, seems to be relatively stationary. We're going to rush over. I say rush, we're not really allowed to run in the pits, but we're going to try and speed walk our way over, get those steps in, have a chat, and see what on earth is happening in this direction as well, because O'Reilly in 11th place in class, or O'Reilly actually, I think I might have just be adding an Y on at the end there out of habit. Currently sat in the pit lane, will be plummeting down the order. That gap between the front two seems to be growing. Griffith still in 3rd place, Shepherd in 4th. That means Ellis has dropped down a position, torn off up to 6th. And it is O'Reilly. Just the Y is not appearing on our screen. I'm waiting to sort of see if I can have a chat with the driver's mechanic, because they seem to be deep in conversation without really being in too much of a rush, to be honest. Which obviously is not really where they want to be. 15 seconds now the gap between 1st and 2nd, so yeah, it's a shame that I can't find Butcher, to be honest. It is like they have operated in a different pit. We've got another driver coming in, just in front of me. The battle's out there on circuit. Cahill, Pansishi, as far as we can see, that's the names of them, and Hopwood as well, very close. And driving past me now is the number 99. That's Powell. See if I can get a word with them as well in a second, but I'm waiting for O'Reilly to drive off so I can have a chat to their mechanic, to be honest. Here we go. So O'Reilly driving off. Quickly have a what on earth went on there with O'Reilly's car?
Oil pressure's just dropping a little bit on right-hand bend, so he decided rather than potentially risk the engine, he'd send it to bring it in and not worry about it too much. He wasn't that high up on the grid anyway, so.
I was going to say, he seemed rather lackadaisical about getting back out there. It was like you two were just having a nice chat about the weather or something. Was there any urgency in there at all?
No, not really. We decided once you're starting to see oil pressure drop, the last thing you need to see is your engine blow itself to pieces. So yeah, to save the oil on the circuit and the engine life, we thought we'd just park it and not worry about it.
Classic cars and parts are two things that quite often are hard to find, aren't they? But you've got some brilliant distributors and manufacturers and everything still going on, haven't you? The parts are still there to be had if you're clever about it.
Yeah, for these Elans, the parts are easy to get hold of. There's plenty of suppliers for them, and so it's not really too much of a concern with these. And that's one of the reasons why we choose to race them. Is to buy a car that you can buy the parts for still.
I was going to say they're great cars as well. Thank you very much for having a chat to us. I'm going to go and find out why on earth the number 99 is currently getting wheeled backwards into the garage. That is a sight that no racing driver, no fan, no mechanic wants to see, especially probably the mechanic, because it means that they've got a big job ahead of them now. So Ian has been stood here, looking, waiting, watching, and probably going to be sticking a camera where it doesn't belong. But we're going to give it back to him. Ian, what have you been observing?
Yeah, we've got a number 99 Nick and Eddie Powell car here. It looks like it's been wheeled into the garage. It does look like that is that. I'll just let him get out very shortly. And it looks like only with 6-7 minutes or so left, that is that. What's the problem?
We're not sure yet, but engine's lost power, so there wasn't any point continuing, losing a lot of time.
Bring it in anyway, but what a day it's been, hasn't it? How emotional was it seeing all those Elans lined up in the pits?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Best gridding I've seen with the Elans, so good to be part of it.
Great to have you as well. Commiserations, hasn't quite gone your way today, but thanks for coming down anyway. We do really appreciate it. Let's move around as well. We're running out of time. Actually, the race is getting done. There's another car coming in. Oh, let's move down. There's another car in the pits as well with the bonnet open. We've got 6 minutes left of this race against Pittard, who still leads. The gap is up to 15 seconds now. He's led the entire race, other than, of course, when he came into the pits. So David Pittard, the man who started on pole, looking good for the win if he can just keep it going at the minute. So here we go. Number 19 car here. I wonder if we could just have a quick chat and be like, find out what the problem is.
Nothing, I've just come in for a cup of tea.
Well, can I have one as well? Let's talk about something a bit lighter, shall we? How special has it been here today for this event?
It's pretty incredible. I think it's a real credit to not only Colin Chapman but to Tony Thompson to have so many 26Rs out in one event. I mean, there is virtually as many cars here today as where they were made originally. So it's
100 or so, isn't there? I think there was 33 lined up earlier. It's remarkable.
It's very special. I mean, to be on circuit with so many Elans at once, it's incredible to have double-digit grids let alone 30, is just so special. It's a privilege to be here.
A boyhood dream, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I've come from California for this, so it was well worth the trip. But, you know, you're racing so close here, especially on the Grand Prix circuit, so it's great fun.
It's a real pleasure to have you, and when you do go home, have a safe flight, won't you? Thank you so much for talking to us. And they'll go all the way over from California to race in this, quite remarkable indeed. We have less than 5, sorry, I'm just going to jump in front of the camera, how rude of me. Less than 5 minutes to go, and it's looking good for Pittard at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, he's smashing it. It's a bit of a shame actually for that for the Hotwood car, because he was having probably the closest battle out there on circuit with Panchisi. But it's obviously gone by the wayside now, and well, to be fair, there's still a good battle between Smith and Ellis for 6th and 7th place. As we see Hotwood now accelerate away. Oh, it's nice to see the car that was at the pit. No, it's not. The car at the end of the pit lane unfortunately pulls into the actual paddock. I thought they were going to go out onto the circuit, but no, they pull out onto the paddock instead. Yeah, 4 minutes to go. Pittard 17 seconds the good. Since the pit stop, that sort of fight has been extinguished, but it was still a very exciting first half hour.
I want to just bring the camera over here for a second, because look at this. The Hotwood car just wheeled out of the pits there. This is what it ripped up. Look, how cool is that? Look at its tyre squealing marks there. How cool is that? What a day it has been so far. It really, really is. Yes, 3.5 minutes. We're going to stay in the pits for the end of the race and see if we can grab a word with some of the drivers. There is more racing action to come, of course, but really the Elan 60th anniversary race, it is the main feature race here this weekend, Jack, so we're going to stick around in the pits for that and watch the cars as they come down and see if we can grab a word, of course, with Pittard, if he can hold on, of course, for 3.5 minutes. So we are, look at it, it's Pittard who leads. It's the Butcher Tinkler car still in second place, and Griffiths in third. So actually the top 3 are, in fact the top 4 as well, because the Shepherd Jackson car, the number 7, is in 4th. So quite remarkable. The top 4 are as they started, Jack. Then you heard the top 4 are as they started as well. So that's pretty impressive considering how tight the racing has been.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just realised I've actually sent John on a mission that actually I've got it completely wrong. If you want to go and crash John and tell him that it's not up there, sorry, just ignore what I said. Because I sent him up to go and capture the checkered flag, and I accidentally sent him in the completely wrong direction, and it's quite literally the other end of the pit lane. He's going to be really annoyed at me. Anyway, yes, it has. The top 4 have been basically as they were, and it's yeah, that's not a bad thing really. Actually, I think Griffiths is slightly catching the Butcher Tinkler car, but it's sort of been very, very small amounts with 2.5 minutes to go. There is a driver who is coming down the pit lane now. This will be a heartbreaking way to end what has been a really good race, and it's the number 88, and they're actually pulling straight into the pits. It's Gray. He's already been in, Cliff Gray, and he's not only just pulled straight into the pits, he's pulled right to the back of the garage as well, and he's already been in once. There's a plethora of people coming in to ask him what on earth is wrong, but it looks like that he's decided to self-retire the car regardless. Bit of a shame, but with only 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining, Ian, we're getting very close to the point where we can crown a 60th winner, and it looks like it's going to be exactly the same car that won the 50th anniversary as well.
I'll tell you something, a few commentators cursed right there, Jack. I wouldn't say anything just yet. I would just hold your horses a little bit, but yeah, 1.5 minutes left on the clock. Pittard has really been exceptional throughout this race. The lead is up to 17.6 seconds over the Butcher Tinkler car in second place. So Griffiths had something of a bit of a lonely race actually in third place of the entire race really. And then of course we've got the number 7 car, the Shepherd Jackson car, started in 4th, currently running in 4th place as well. So the top 4, it's quite incredible the top 4 as they were. Of course we must say a big thank you as well, supported by Tony Thompson Racing, this Elan race. Of course they are race prep and performance specialists for the Lotus Elan. They've really been a big part of this, and if you do want to find out more at any point about the Equipe Classic racing, you can. There is a link in the body of this broadcast. Give it a click and it will take you straight through. So time almost running out, 30 seconds or so. About to start the last lap of this race. David Pittard has been absolutely sensational. He weathered heavy pressure in the opening 20 minutes or so of this race, came into the pits, and from then he hasn't really looked back, has he? As he's going to be chasing down victory. I'm going to just go find Jack and hand over to him very shortly.
So as the timer goes down to 0, we can start and wait for the checkered flag. I'm actually going to put myself on the pit wall so I can get a proper view of what will be the 60th anniversary champion here for the Lotus Elan, the Equipe Elan 60. I was just actually poking my head down in front of the pit lane. I have to say, it's a stunning view. If you are around, wow, it's amazing how they don't look anywhere near as fast as they are actually going. When you get up close and personal, I do implore you tomorrow, potentially, to get yourself down here, get yourself trackside, and watch the Equipe Racing Club, because it is pretty sensational. The fact that with the timer has ticked down to 0 must mean that we've got a checkered flag coming out soon here at the National Pits. Well, I can't quite see where it's going to hang out just yet. Pit boards are still hung out, which means drivers are still out there racing. There's the F1 wing on your screen right now. And the checkered flag's not going to drop from there, is it? Waiting to see through the cameras to see if we can find David Pittard, to be honest, because he's the driver we're going to be waiting for and wanting to see cross that checkered flag. Well, sure, not necessarily wanting to see. There's a whole host. There it is. And here's David Pittard, winner of the Elan 60. He slows all the way down, celebrates in front of the team, and accelerates off again. What a race. It was a fantastic exhibition of racing in the first 15-20 minutes with himself and Rory Butcher that we saw while we were stood on the sideline next to Buckland's. Coming across the line, here comes Tinkler and Butcher. And again, no shame in coming second in this race, to be honest. It's all about the occasion. It's all about the fact that you got to the end. The 472 Griffiths comes across the line as well, just lapping a few cars on the way through. A great race, a thoroughly enjoyable race. One that will live in the memory of a lot of these drivers, I'm sure, for a long time, and in the cars, because that's the special thing about these sort of cars, isn't it? It's not just about how old they are, it's about what they've achieved, and this is certainly something to go on the car CV.
Yeah, I mean age is a great thing as well. It's 60th anniversary, these cars are 60 years old. It's incredible, really, the way that they can tackle Silverstone Grand Prix with such ferocity. Yes, okay, they're exceptionally well looked after, as they should be as well, but to have 33 of them here out of only 100 produced, it's quite incredible, and it just goes to show the respect that these cars are showing, and rightly so as well. I know Colin Chapman, looking down, has probably got a big smile on his face this afternoon.
Yeah, why shouldn't he as well? I think one of the drivers before, I think it was, I can't remember who it was, we've spoken to so many, I think it was Buchhofer, was saying it's not only a great car, it's a great circuit as well, and no better place to put an event like this on than Silverstone Grand Prix. I'm glad they didn't just do it on the international, I'm glad they didn't just do it on the national circuit. We get the big GP circuit out here, we make a thing of it, and as I said, it's going to live long in the memory, I'm sure. We are going to wait for a few drivers to come into the pits. We're hoping, Ian, that they're going to park somewhere in front of us, aren't we, so we can get a quick chat.
I'll tell you what's going to happen, because I've just been down to chat to the marshals. There's no parc ferme here for these, because they don't have enough marshals for all of the cars, and they're going to go straight down to the garages. So this is why we're sort of staying halfway down the pit lane, so we can capture them come in. We'll follow, when we do see David Pittard, we'll follow his car down, grab a word with him. More racing action coming up, of course, but this race really does take priority because it's such a special occasion. Again, I will say, if you haven't seen it already, please do go back and check out, after the Equipe GTS race, we came into the pit lane in a glorious sunshine here at Silverstone. We had 33 Lotus Elan 26Rs lined up in the pit lane. saying, we heard from Rob Cole, it was a very, very emotional moment indeed. Well worth a watch back. It was only 3 or 4 minutes long or so, but well worth checking out. Let's just make our way down a little bit further, shall we? Do want to see David Pittard. I mean, it's not just David. We want to speak to a number of drivers. And the race, what an honour it is to win the race, but it's just an honour to take part, Jack.
It's an honour to cover it as well, really, isn't it? I mean, it's one of the... I mean, we love I know you've obviously done the MGs a lot, Ian, and Equipe as a whole is a fantastic club to be a part of, and yeah, it is an honour. And as I said, I'm sure a lot of people will know and remember which car is which, as we're currently walking down the pit lane. It's obviously going to take about 4 minutes for the cars to get in. I'm sure the top three will be absolutely itching. They'll probably be going around a bit quicker than everybody else. And the rest of the cars, there are more races after this. We'll be getting ready to go back out. I think there's about 4 cars after this. This may well be the first driver in front of us. Is that there? It is David Pittard, isn't it? Yeah, so let's walk down. He's going to receive a rapturous round of applause, I'm sure, from the rest of the field. A class act and a big name to have on this grid as well. Remember that pros not only aren't allowed on this grid, but given the fact that it was a big event, they wanted as many people as possible involved. And a bigger spectacle. Here is Tinker. Of course, the Butcher Tinker partnership coming home in second place. And there's Griffiths as well. Solo drive. In fact, Tinker Butcher, the only dual drive in the top 3. And we're going down because we're going to have to see if we can get which one we can get a chat to first. There is Roy, but should have been trying to find him.
Let me grab David Pittard very quick. I'm sure he'll be delighted. A little handshake there as well. David, what an honour it must be to win this race.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a hell of a race, man. That was a hell of a race. Big hats off to Rory. Yeah, bit of a...
These boys put you under some pressure. That opening 20 minutes was incredible, wasn't it?
That's what I mean. It was so close, super fair. Yeah, both Wolf manufacturing cars. Yeah, sort of pulling away at the front there, and yeah, to race against a top touring car boy like that, I mean, yeah, he knows how to get his elbows out, but no, super fair, super clean, and super fun. That was one of the best races I've had actually in a long time.
Tell us about the car. What's it like to drive here?
It's great fun. It's pretty leery out there today, to be fair. Quite a few oversteery moments, and but yeah, I kind of mentioned earlier, it's a bit of an extension of your body, really. It's just a big go-kart because it's so light, so nimble, and you can just really sort of do what you want with it. So it's a pleasure to drive.
Is this one of those races that you've won it now, perhaps you don't quite realise the significance of the win until maybe even a few years down the line?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the sort of legacy of the Elan is one of the sort of pure drivers' cars. So to bring as many cars here today as the organisers have has been fantastic. And yeah, to pit them all against each other. So sort of proves this is one of the best, which is great. So again, huge thanks to the owner, Graham Wilson. I think he's watching it on the live stream and on the timing. Yeah, thanks for letting us play out in your car. And yeah, 50th anniversary winner and now 60th anniversary winner.
Boy, done good. Well done. Congratulations, Jack.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm actually going to try and have a chat with Rory Butcher, who obviously the team came second in the end there, Rory, and I have to say that was one hell of a battle. I reckon you and David must have been grinning from ear to ear for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, we both had a fantastic race there, and I felt like we needed to put on a bit of a show. Same team, 2 fantastic cars here, and two mates having a race. I just want to say thanks to Peter and everybody at Wolf Motorsport here, and can't wait to drive this car again. I'm massive smile here.
Fantastic, and Tinkler, I believe, as well, coming in. I mean, to be within touching distance of the car in the lead, when you jumped in the car, how much pressure did you feel getting into it?
An enormous amount of pressure, yeah. Rory did an amazing stint to start off with, and yeah, I just had to sort of try and hang on to it to bring it home, really. So yeah, I'd like to thank Peter for giving me the opportunity to drive his car, and the boys at Wolf Manufacturing, because they've put a lot of hours in to get this car here. It's his second race meeting and two podiums, a win in the second, so I think the cars are going to get better from here, so yeah.
How did you end up driving the car then? What's the story behind you getting behind the wheel?
I helped build the car, and one of the, I think Ben couldn't make it this weekend, so Peter very kindly asked if I'd step in. So.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the second place. That was an epic drive between those two teammates. I mean, in the end, I'm sure there'll be a round of applause and trophies getting given out. There we go, a round of applause already getting given. Ian, I'm sure there's more people to talk to.
Yeah, I've got Miles over here actually. Miles in third place. Miles, congratulations. dare I say, it looked a bit lonely at times.
Yeah, it was lonely. I'd have liked to have kept up with Rory and David at the start. Did for a couple of laps, but they were just too quick.
Were you watching them in front thinking, hang on, you're saying happens here, I'm through?
Definitely. I was hoping they'd sort of trip each other over in the nicest possible way and I could gain some ground back on them. But no, enjoyed it. Thanks to Nick for letting me drive his car. And yeah, just had great fun.
Tell us about your experience here this weekend. I mean, it's almost an honour, isn't it, to be driving these cars around Silverstone Grand Prix in such an occasion?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, 60th anniversary of the Lotus Elan. They're a great little car, fantastic event. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Third place. Well done. Great stuff indeed. Let's move along a little bit as well. We caught up with these guys a little bit earlier. In fact, let's move the camera over here because I just want to get another look at these cars. The race has, of course, come to a close. Congratulations, Dave Pittard. He is the winner of the Elan 60th anniversary race, and a real hive of activity here, a real buzz, as you can see around in the garages. It really has been a quite momentous occasion for this. Again, please do go back and watch the video we did actually in the lunch break as well. We had all 33 Elans lined up. We heard from Robert Cole as well. He's been racing. Look at Jack. You don't know where to look, do you, Jack? Because it's just such a special occasion. It really is, right?
Absolutely, and everybody's just got a smile on their face, haven't we? I mean, we probably shouldn't be doing this right in the middle of the pit lane, but oh well, no cars are coming out just yet, are they? Yeah, I mean, it's such a spectacle. Everybody's got a smile on their face, and I know we were around the winners just then, obviously, but even the drivers that had problems. I mean, I was speaking to one of the drivers' mechanics who said he had an oil pressure problem, and he was like, well, I might as well just come in and not let the engine go boom. And I was like, how can you be so lackadaisical about that? You know, you come here to try and take part and to win, and he was like, well, I've come here to have fun, sort of thing. And I was like, well, that's really what ultimately we're looking for, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Like, nobody loses today, do they, really? Absolutely nobody loses. We've got John Pearson as well. We spoke to him a little bit earlier. We've got a lot of the boys around here. I wonder if we might be able to just grab another quick word with John after the event. He's just having a quick chat with John. He's a busy man. He's been doing everything. No, don't disappear. No, come on, Nick. Go on. I want to have a quick chat with you as well. How was it out there? How was it?
Well, I wasn't out. Out. So
okay, you go ahead then. All right, no worries. Car okay? Car good?
Third.
Special, huh? Pretty good. There we go. We are going to have a quick chat with them very short. I don't want to interrupt too much. Normally I don't mind, I just jump in anyway, but have a look at these cars. Look at this, the exhaust in the centre as well. We heard them powering out of the pits, don't we? They are quite incredible. The Lotus Elan 26R, referred to as Comp Elan, produced between 1964 and 1966, about 100 or so. 33 of them here today. Colin Chapman himself said they weren't actually meant to go onto a racetrack, but you know, if it's got an engine in, it's got four wheels, we'll take it onto a racetrack. It truly is quite remarkable. Let's catch up a little bit later, shall we? And maybe we can move around a little bit more and see if we can grab a quick word with some of the other drivers as well. I am going to jump in actually right into the middle. John's running away from me. Doesn't want to talk. John, how are you? Are you feeling a bit emotional now the race is over?
This was a big race for us. Yeah. I think it was a real big spectacle, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. You know, that was in it. I know I've talked to a lot of people.
They have done.
Everyone said it's just epic, and then people say, "So you're going to do another one?" And I said, "What? Another 60 years, maybe." But who knows? We might.
We've got to do a 61-minute race next
year. We might do an Elan race next year. We might see if there's enough people that want to do it. Why not? Be pumped, wouldn't it?
How was it out there then? Tell us about your experience this week.
It's great fun, but you should really talk to the quick driver.
We've already had a chat.
We've already had a chat with Julian. It's a real privilege to race these cars. This one is an original 60-year-old car. It raced here 60 years ago in vaguely the same form probably, and it's just a real pleasure. It's not quite as light as some of the other ones here, but it's driven properly, it's still very quick.
I think the car itself is probably shedding a tear. A lot of memories, isn't there? Here?
Absolutely. What a privilege to drive a car with such famous pedigree. It really is. It's amazing.
Are you guys racing again at all this weekend? Are you doing anything, or can you just go relax now and enjoy the hospitality?
No, we had planned to race in the GTSCC race tomorrow, but Julian's got to go to the States, so I'm racing with Ben Tinkler, who I may.
Well, Ben's just done very well. We just spoke
exactly. I may well have chosen well there, so it'll be nice to race with him. And I'm in the 70th race in an RSR in, I don't know, in an hour or something.
I was going to say we're covering that, so you better crack on actually.
Yeah, I better go and do my hair or something. Yeah.
Looks fine, don't worry about it. Guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time today. We really, really do. We are going to have to get ourselves off, actually, because we've got more racing action coming on, as you can see. But what a treat that was. That is a once-in-a-lifetime race. That will never, ever happen again. In fact, the monopostos are heading out on track already. We're going to go get ourselves into position. A big thank you to the Lotus Elan, to Colin Chapman, of course, everybody at Lotus for just creating this incredible car. But to David Pittard is your race winner. Congratulations to him. Coming up next, we have the monopostos, Jack.